Hello, my name is Grace Wright. In my future career, I plan to be a human capital strategist. We'll get into that here in a little bit. While a bachelor's degree is typically required for this position, I do plan on taking it one step further and obtaining my master's. In this PowerPoint, I will be reviewing my preliminary research topic and giving a brief overview of what I plan to cover in my paper and final presentation. My topic focuses on remote work and the negative impact it has on employees. So how does this correlate with my future career? Well, first, I think it's important to fully understand the role of a human capital strategist. They focus on organizational procedures that impact their staff. Their goal is to understand the staff and their needs so that they can develop more efficient strategies moving forward. By researching telecommunication and the impact that it has on employees, we can better anticipate their needs. We can take the knowledge that we've gained from research and hopefully develop more efficient virtual strategies that reduce the consequences employees face and help the organization meet their goals. While this research is applicable to basically any organization with remote employees, I chose to specifically target the managers at UPS. I happen to know a few people who work within the corporate offices of UPS. Of course, they all went home at the beginning of the pandemic and worked remotely, and many of them have yet to return. So this information I feel is very applicable and could be very beneficial for those who manage remote employees within the organization. On this slide, we can see the title of my research paper, which is A Psychological Approach to Understanding Long-Term Consequences of Extensive Telecommunication on Employees. Looking at my thesis, we can see a clear argumentative statement. Remote work is not sustainable long-term given the demanding nature of telecommunication. We can also see three evident research claims. We're looking at the effects of telecommunication on cognitive fatigue, employee perceptions, and gender inequality. Here we're looking at the three areas of psychology I will be pulling research from: cognition, perception, and social. Of course, when we're talking cognitive psychology, we're looking at mental processes such as attention or memory. So I will be looking at how mental processes vary from telecommunication to traditional in-office work and how telecommunication can be more cognitively draining and could lead to more fatigue. I will also be looking at how employee perceptions have changed as we shift more into a virtual office. Of course, how employees perceive their job indirectly affects how satisfied they are with their job, so I will be looking into job satisfaction as well. And I will also be looking into how telecommunication has altered our social norms, both at work and at home, and how this has potentially created a larger division between gender. Here I will be giving a very brief overview of a few of the key points I plan on exploring further in my final paper and final presentation. First, I will be looking at cognitive fatigue that stems from video conferences. Video conferences such as Zoom calls have been proven to be a lot more draining on employees than traditional face-to-face meetings. There's a lot of research that implies why that might be. Specifically, women and new employees are typically drawn to this little box in the corner that shows their own image, and they're putting a lot of attention into self-evaluating and self-preserving themselves. And that, of course, can be very exhausting. I will also be looking at the effects of telepressure. Telepressure is when the line between work and home gets blurred because, of course, they're in the same location. And an employee feels that they constantly have to be accessible, that they constantly have to be working. And of course, this can lead to cognitive burnout. I will also be looking at the unique relationship between job satisfaction and remote work because that's a lot more complex than one might think. As an employee starts telecommuting, they typically do enjoy it, but as telecommunication gets more extensive, job satisfaction tends to drop off. And I will also be looking at how telecommunication encourages gender division. Women are more likely to work from home. Those who work from home are more likely to receive lower pay. And I will also be looking at how telecommunication encourages domestic inequality in both household tasks and childcare responsibilities. Again, my name is Grace Wright. This is my argumentative thesis, and I look forward to hearing your feedback in the comments.